Look at the sheer variety of complex animals walking, flying, and swimming across the Earth today. Despite their obvious differences, the vast majority of them share a single ancient biological lineage. This deep family tie connects modern ray-finned fish, like tuna and catfish, all the way to amphibians, birds, and even humans. The anchor of this lineage is a group scientists call Eosteus. These are the foundational bony fish, organisms that developed skeletons made of calcified bone instead of cartilage, and they form the central trunk of our evolutionary family tree. If we want to understand exactly how our own vertebrate body plans came to exist, we have to trace these early bony fish all the way back to their absolute beginning. Documenting the lineage of human biology requires us to identify that common ancestor, hidden somewhere deep in the prehistoric oceans. For decades, textbooks have pointed to the Devonian period, which started roughly 419 million years ago, as the undisputed age of fish. The accepted scientific consensus held that the critical evolutionary split between different groups of early fish occurred squarely within this specific Devonian window. But researchers faced a massive data problem. This timeline maps out the prehistoric era, and while it shows an explosion of species in the Devonian, there is a blank spot over the preceding era, known as the Silurian period. The mechanics of fossilization are largely to blame for this gap. The creatures swimming through the Silurian oceans generally had softer bodies, and soft tissue rarely survives the millions of years required to turn into rock. This extreme scarcity of fossils left a dark age in the timeline, hiding the actual blueprint of how the very first vertebrate traits emerged. Evidence for this missing era eventually surfaced at the Chongqingensis, a fossil site in South China containing remarkably well-preserved Silurian remains. Researchers unearthed Eosteus chongqingensis, a rare 3-centimeter fish fossil from 436 million years ago. It possesses modern traits, like a generalized bony fish body and a distinct dorsal fin, fused with primitive traits, including rigid tail scales and an ancient armored fish anal fin spine. This mix of anatomy makes the tiny creature a biological chimera. It harbors specific physical characteristics from entirely different evolutionary lineages inside a single body. Finding Eosteus chongqingensis physically proves that modern bony fish traits were already established and functioning millions of years before the Devonian period even began. A second major discovery arrived via fossils found in Kujing, China. This was a massive 1-meter-long apex predator named Megamastax amblyodus. Using advanced 3D reconstruction on the predator's head and trunk, researchers identified definitive early bony fish anatomy. This included specialized neck bones, called extrascapulars, and clear evidence of tooth reabsorption and replacement. But the predator's most unique feature was inside its mouth. This schematic illustrates the specific mechanical layout of the jaw, showing how it held double rows of cushion-like teeth resting on individual blunt bases. Identifying those specific teeth solved a mystery spanning thousands of miles. For decades, scientists in Europe's Baltic region had been digging up isolated, unidentifiable tooth plates. They finally matched those Baltic teeth directly to the jaw of Megamastax. This match confirms that early bony fish weren't an isolated anomaly in China. They were a globally widespread species, actively hunting across the Silurian oceans. Based on this new physical evidence, the Devonian period can no longer be considered the evolutionary starting line for vertebrates. These fossils revealed the Silurian period as a thriving, diverse oceanic ecosystem. The foundational biological traits of modern vertebrates, the very architecture of life on land and in the sea, were actively being forged and tested during this specific era. Eosteus chongqingensis and Megamastax amblyodus provide the physical evidence that bridges the gap between these two geological eras. These ancient oceanic creatures are the direct architects of the skeletal structures we rely on today. By illuminating the dark age of the Silurian gap, scientists have successfully pushed the origins of the human body plan millions of years deeper into the past.